Hello guys, welcome to Ikhra Technology. So today we are going to solve some task of Python encapsulation. So let's get started. Here's our very first question. We have to perform a basic encapsulation program. Write a class person with private fields for first name and last name. Provide public properties with getter and setter to access and modify these fields. Ensure the setter validate the names are not empty. Okay, so what we have to do, first of all, we have to create private attributes of first name and last name and then access it through the setter and getter method. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to make a class name we will take as person. Okay, and in that person class we will make a constructor. How we make a constructor or method? Init method. So def and underscore init. So here we have created our init function, or we call also called is as a constructor. Okay, so in that init method we will pass the parameters first name and last name. Okay, so first name and last name. Okay, so here we will implement it through the private attributes self dot. So how we declare our private attributes? By two underscores. Okay, so we will write one and two underscore and first name equals to first name. So here we have declared our first name private attribute. For the last name private attribute we will again write underscore last name equals to last name. Okay, so here we have done with. Now we will use our setter and getter methods. Okay, so we will, for setting the method, we have to use at the rate property decorator to use or to define the getter methods for private attributes. Okay, so we will write at the rate property here, and now we will make another method of first name def first name. Okay, and in this we will pass a parameter self, and we will return self dot scroll first name. Okay, and for the setter method, for setter we will use at the rate first name dot setter decorator to define a method to set the value of the first name. So for getting the value of the first name we have to add a decorator as at the rate first name dot setter. Here we have done with it. Now we will make a method for this also, def first name and self parameter and the value what we have to keep. So we will take the parameter name as value. Okay, so here we have done with. Now we will add a if else if value equals to, then we will write self dot our private attribute. What is our private attribute for first name? We have keep it as first name equals to value. So what we will keep now, if we change the first name it will come into the value. So that do it for the last name also. So let's do it. We will again use at the rate property decorator to define the getter method for the private attribute for the last name. Okay, so we will again use at the rate property, and in that property decorator we will again make a method as last name, and we will pass the parameter as self, and in that we will just return, we will return a private attribute self dot last name. Here we have returned our the private attribute of last name, and for the setter we will use at the rate last name dot setter decorator to define the method to set the value of last name. Okay, so as we have above we have done it, we will write at the rate last name dot setter. So we are setting the value, and in that setter we will again make a method name we will keep as last name, and in that we will pass a parameter name value. Okay, and for that we will use a if value equals to self dot last name is r equals to value. Okay, so here we have done with. Now we will add examples and we will make the construct or we will make the object for that. For making the object, what we have to do, we have to first of all declare the name of the object. So we will write the object name as person, and what is our class name? Class name is also person, and in that we will pass the arguments in that. So argument for we will keep the first name last name. Okay, so we will keep the name as John. Okay, and his last name we will keep as Doe. Here we have done it. Now we will print what we will print person dot first name. So here if we save and run the program, you can see the person dot first name is John. Okay, now what if we will print person dot last name? It will display Doe. Okay, again if we save and run the program, here you can see the last name will appear as Doe. Here John Doe. Okay, so what if we have to change the name of John to Jane? Okay, so we will write person dot first name equals to Jane. Okay, now if you see, if we again print it, we will write person dot first name. So here you can see John will be replaced with Jane. Okay, so here you can see the John is replaced with Jane by using the setter and getter property. Okay, so let's move to our second question. Encapsulation with methods. Write a class bank account with private fields for account number, balance, and owner name. Provide public methods to deposit and withdraw money. Ensure that the withdraw method does not allow the balance to get negative. Okay, so we have to make a demo of a bank account with methods for encapsulation. Okay, so if we deposit the money, it should increase the money, and if we withdraw the money, it should reduce the money, and if we reduce the money, it should not be zero. Okay, so let's start doing it. First of all, what we have to do, what we have to make a class name we will keep it as bank account. Okay, so we will keep a class name as bank account. Okay, so here we have made it class. Now we will declare a constructor in that. So how we make a constructor means init. Here we have declared our constructor. Okay, so in that constructor we have to pass the parameters of account number, balance, and owner name. Okay, so we will pass the parameters account name or number, comma balance, or we'll keep it as owner name, and we will keep the initial balance equals to 0. Okay, so we will keep initial balance equals to 0. Here we have passed the parameters in that. Now we will implement it using private attributes. So self dot first private attribute is account number equals to account number. So here our account number private attribute is set, and now for the owner name, self dot underscore owner name equals to owner name. So for the owner name, our private attribute is set for owner. Now for balance, we will keep it as the name balance. So balance equals to, we have keep the parameter as initial balance, so we will write initial balance. Okay, so here we have done with the constructor. Now let's start making the methods for deposit, withdraw and get balance. Okay, so how we make method, we make first of all we will make the deposit method. Okay, so we will write first and we will keep the deposit or the method name as deposit. Here deposit. Okay, so we have keep the name as deposit. Now what we will do, we will pass the parameter amount in that. Okay, amount means our money. Okay, amount, here we have done with the passing the argument, and will now use a conditional statement. Okay, so if amount is greater than 0, then self dot balance must be increasing, means it should add the amount in that. If we deposit the money greater than 0, then it should increase our balance. Okay, so we will write plus equals to amount. Okay, so you are getting me or not? If the user deposit money greater than 0, then it should add it in the balance. Okay, same as for withdraw, if the money is less than 0, then it should withdraw it. Okay, so as we will make it for withdraw also, we'll make a method and make a method name as withdraw, and we will pass the parameter same amount in that. Amount means money. Okay, now what we will do, first of all we'll use a conditional statement. If amount is greater than 0 and amount is less than or equals to self dot score balance. Okay, and if it is there, then it should deduce it, or if it's not, it should keep it as the same. Okay, so underscore balance amount. Okay, here we have done with making a methods of deposit and withdraw. Now we'll simply make a get balance method. Okay, so we will keep the name as get balance, and we will pass just a parameter self in that, and for displaying it we will return self dot balance. Here we have done with. So let's start making the instance of the class. Okay, so for instance creating, we have to make the object. So we will keep the object name as account equals to, and what is our class name, class name is bank account. Okay, in that bank account we have to pass the parameters in that. So what is our parameters, first parameter is account number, second is our owner name, and third is the initial balance. Okay, so what we'll do, first of all we will add our account number. So we will keep account number as 12345, and we'll name as John. Okay, the owner name we will keep it at John, and the initial balance we will keep it as 100. Okay, so here we have done with passing the arguments in that. Now we will do it. Now we will, what we'll do, first of all we will deposit in the money. Okay, so we will deposit 50 rupees in 100. So what we have to do, we have to route account in dot deposit, and what we have to deposit, we have to deposit 50 rupees. So in that method we will have to pass 50. So we'll just print account that get balance. Okay, so if you run the program, here you can see the initial balance is 100, and after adding 50 rupees it is going to be 150. Okay, so here we have done with depositing the money. Now we will withdraw the money. Okay, so for withdrawing we have to write account plus our withdraw method. We will withdraw 30 rupees. Okay, So justly we have to print account dot get balance. Okay, so if we save and run the program, you can see here 150 means 50 minus 100, then it is 150, then 150 minus 30, it will going to be 120. Okay, now what if we will withdraw 200 rupees from 120? Isn't possible? No, it is not possible. So let's see, is it possible or not? If we write account dot withdraw, we will withdraw 200 rupees from 120. Okay, so what will it will see, we will what will it give, it will print account dot get balance. So here, if we save and run the program, here you can see the answer will again be 120, because it can't be withdrawn, because 200 is greater than 120, so the money can be withdrawn. Okay, I hope you might have understood these question of bank account and the setter and getter method in encapsulation. Thanks for watching the video.